Do you think the Supreme Court delays the ruling on tariffs so that Trump could use tariffs as leverage against the EU? With that being said, is the Supreme Court ruling a catalyst for a black swan? Tariffs are definitely a leverage point that Trump has been using, and I'm kind of for it. I know there's a lot of people that think it's causing inflation or causing issues in our economy. We're going to have to go through a period of hurt. Okay? Like, in order to get things right here in the U.S. and get manufacturing onshore, there's going to be stuff that's not fun that we have to do. Trump is in his last term here. He can do things that are not fun because he's not running for re-election. So he can do things that are unpopular that will actually set the U.S. up for a better future. And I think tariffs are part of that. Again, I know a lot of people, may disagree with that, and that's okay. He does talk about the late 1800s where we were the, largest creditor nation. We had tariffs, we didn't have income tax, and we actually had more money than we knew what to do with at the government level at that time. We ran a surplus, which has only happened a couple times in our history here in the U.S. We run a huge deficit at this point with the amount of government spending that we have versus GDP and taxes. So, all that being said, I don't think they're going to take that away from him. I do think that they likely want Greenland. We bought the Virgin Islands for $25 million in the early 1900s. It's been a while since we've bought a large landmass. You might look at, the Louisiana Purchase, Alaska, and some of the other ones that the U.S. has acquired over the years. Many of those in today's value are hundreds of millions of dollars, which is actually fairly cheap for what I would think they would go for. Greenland is very strategic for being able to shoot down missiles and our things that are coming from China and Russia. If we had a military base there and had control over that jurisdiction, it would allow us to mitigate a lot of that risk that we might have today. And then alongside that, there's also the raw minerals and resources there in Greenland. Greenland is not green. It's full of ice and snow, which is interesting. Greenland and Iceland, the Vikings actually gave them those names in order to keep people away from the place that they wanted to go, which was Iceland, which was green. And they talked about, the green one, or talked about the icy one and called it Greenland so that people would go there. And that's just stuck around. Obviously, that's the way it is today.